Hello everyone, and in this video we are going to discuss about loops in JavaScript. So I have an empty file with the name loops.html. You can give any name to the file, and I just have the script. So here we will write our code, and I open the same file in the browser. So let's start. So let's consider a scenario. We want to show a table of 2 up to 10. So let's say console.log and 2 multiplied by 1, and you can see the result here is 2, and we want to do this up to the value 10. So let's copy it a few times, and so let's change the values. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So we have a table of 2 in this way. Now let's say we want to see a table of 3. So I will duplicate same code, and here we have to modify the value of 2 to 3. So we have to make these changes. You can already see this is a lot of work. We are repeating the same code again and again for the same functionality, and we can make mistakes. And let's say if you want to change the format from this to this, so yeah, let's say now you want to show it like this, not like this. So now you have to make a lot of changes. So let's say I have to copy it and paste it here and there and all the places, and then I have to modify this value. So 2, 3, etc. And for this one I will have to modify values again here, 3, and things like that. So that's a lot of work. We don't want to do it like this. So what we will do is we will write a for loop. So we write a for loop to execute a code for a certain amount of time. So for example, for we will provide here 3 conditions. So let I is equal to 0. So we will start from 0, and then we will go up to 10. So I is less than 10, and then we will increment the value of I with 1 with every loop. So I plus plus. So I plus plus means the value of I will be incremented by 1 with every loop. So let me show it to you. The console.log and I. You can see the value of I initially it's 0. Second time it's 1, and then 2, 3, 4 up to 9. Okay. So what we can do is now copy this one and paste it here. And you can see 10 times we have to multiply it by 1 is equal to 2. So let me change this value from 1 to I, and you can see the result. So 2 multiplied by 1 is equal to 0. So we haven't changed this value yet, but you can already see 2 multiplied by 0, 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, etc. So now let me change this value again. So here instead of 1 I will write I. And here you can see 2 multiplied by 1. We don't need to write 1 here. So 2 multiplied by the element, the number, and then we can see the result. So 2 multiplied by 0 is equal to 0, 2 multiplied by 1, 2, and then the value of I changes in every loop, and we can see the result here. Now we want to change and show the table of 3. So I will duplicate this code, and here I will pass 3, and here I will write 3. So you can see we are showing the table of 3 now here, as well as the table of 2. But we are repeating our code here again, so let me write a function, and I will write the function name tables, and we can pass I will do to the table. So let's say a number, and we want to do show the table of this number. So what we can do is, now we need to change these values. So 2 multiplied by, so instead of writing 2, you will write here number, and here I will remove the 2, and I will write here number. So you can see we have passed a number to this function, and then we will see the values of the number instead of writing a value. So now let's call this function. So console.log, and tables, and here in the table I will pass 2. So now you can see the value of 2, table of 2, and now let's say I want to see the table of 3. So what I can do is I can call this method again and pass the value 3. So I can see the number of 3, and similarly I can see table of 4 or any number. So let's say the table of 5. You can see the table of 5, and you can see the undefined after each loop, because we are calling the function, and here we are executing the loop, but we are not returning anything here from the function. So that's why it gets this console.log gets no value. So now let's remove this, as we are already logging it in the function. You can see we don't have those undefined in the first two ones. So let's say if I want to return here, let's say null, you can see null here for this one. So we don't want to return anything from the function. So what we can do is we are console.log at anywhere, we are console.log in these values in the method and the function. So we don't need to write console.log here, and we don't need to return anything from this. So now we will not see the undefined value. Okay, now let's create an array. So let my array is equal to 1 2 3 4 5, and we will loop through this array. So we will use the for loop. So I will write for, and I will start from 0. So let I is equal to 0, and then the condition, so I is less than. So we have 5 elements here, and we start here from 0. So I will write if that is less than 5, that will go up to 4, and then I plus plus. So we will increment the value of I with 1, and here we will write our code. So console.log, and my array, and how can we access the indexes? So the I, so it's I, we can access the value my array, and then the index. So here we passed 1. That's how you can get the values. So either you can pass 1 or 2 or any value. So here we are doing the same thing. We are passing the index. So you can see my array of the I element. So the I is 0 initially, then 1, then 2, then 3. And you can get all these elements. So 1 2 3 4 5, 1 2 3 4 5. But now let's add some elements to it. So 6 and 7. But still our loop goes up to the fifth element, which is this one, and not we can't see these values in the loop. So how can we get up to that those values as well? So let's say what we can do is there is a method. So console.log my array, and you can see the values of the array, but here you can see 7, and if we expand this you can see the length of the array is 7. So we will get this length of the array and execute our loop. So my array dot length, and you can see it's 7. So what we can do is instead of writing here 5, you will write my array dot length. So now we can access all these values. We are starting from 0 up to the length of the array, and we are incrementing the I value, and we are showing the array element and that. And this way you can loop through an array. Now let's write this for loop in another way, which is a simpler way. So for, and you can see let number of my array. So what we will do here, we will go through this array, and we will get each element, each number from this array, and we can do anything with it. So let's say console.log and the number. So you can see the same result is this one, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 for each element of the array. but in a simpler way. So if you compare it, we don't need the length and the I, etc. So we can write this for loop here in a simpler way. Now let's say you want the indexes of these array. So for example, I'll comment this and I will uncomment this one. As you saw earlier, we have the values, and if I expand it, you have these indexes. So we call them keys and values, or index and values. So let's say if I want to get access to these keys or these indexes, how can I do that? So for let key, can give any name to it, but I will write here key in my array. And in this way, now in key you will have those indexes values. Console.log and key. And now you can see 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And here you can see we have all these keys here. So now let's say I want to get access to the elements as well. So I have the key already, so I can use that in any way. And what I can do is I will write here my array and pass it as a key. So we are passing the index here. So we can access the array element like this as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So in this loop, we are going through the array. For each element, we are taking the key, so which are these values, and now through this key, we are getting access to the element. So for whatever reason, if you need key and value, both of them, so you can do the loop like this. Now we can go through our array in another way. So my array and dot for each loop. So for each, in here I will pass a function to function, and I will pass the value to get access to that value. So for example, the number, or you can write here element or anything, in the function body. So now console.log and the number. You can see the number here, and we can loop through the array like this as well. So now we have declared a function, so we can convert this function to an arrow function as well. So let's say I remove this function keyword, I write here is equal to greater than sign. So now it is converted to the arrow function, and as we are passing only single value, so I can remove these as well. So I can write an arrow function or the normal function, so it's your choice. And in this way we can loop through the array as well. So that's all about loops and arrays, and see you in the next video.